Hey guys, Nuzzle here, and today we're back for another YouTube video. Today we're going to be talking about a four-way comparison between Psykos from One Punch Man, Keiji Mogami from Mob Psycho 100, Shinobu Sensui, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right, from Yu Yu Hakusho, and Scarlet Witch from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So if you're going to enjoy this video, make sure to like, subscribe. I will be talking about like Psykos like on her own, not when infused with Orochi, although I will bring that up like as I go along with the video for those that think that that should be counted here. And I will go over some things from the Multiverse of Madness for Scarlet Witch, so obviously spoilers there, but it shouldn't really change too much, and you know, only really adds to like some abilities, and I get one feat later on. So obviously if you don't want to be spoiled for that, then click off the video, but I figured I'd add it for those that think it should be added in, since I mean, given something that she gets in the Multiverse of Madness, you could say that that's probably not standard arsenal, but whatever, we'll just count it along the way, and you can, you know, ignore it if you don't think it should be counted. So let's just get into the video. For strength attack potency for Psycho, she is comparable to Fubuki, who blocked a point-blank attack from Overgrown Rover, who is much stronger than Half Monster Garo, who fought Super Alloy Titanium Man, who fought Gogetsu, who split clouds, like a large amount of them, and in order to do that you need to have power equal to over 700 megatons of TNT, or enough to destroy a large mountain. If you take infused Psykos, then she scales above Orochi, who is stated capable to have enough power to destroy the Earth's core, and in order to do that you need to have power equal to 1.32 zetatons of TNT, or enough to destroy small planets. Obviously infused Psykos would be far superior to her normal self. When it comes to Keiji Mogami's attack potency, he was capable of going like one-on-one with 100% mob, and was even able to overpower him once he released all of his evil spirits. 100% mob was capable of dispersing an even larger set of clouds than the ones we previously went over, and in order to do this, mob must have been like outputting enough power to equal 38.5 gigatons of TNT, or enough to destroy an island. You can hilariously get Keiji Mogami to moon level, but it's far too much of a stretch, and it doesn't make sense, but I'll go over it at the end of the video just because it's kind of funny. When it comes to Shinobu's like attack potency, even with like less than half of his power, he was able to trigger a highly destructive earthquake on a global scale, and it did enough damage to equal 2 petatons of TNT, or enough to destroy multiple continents in a single go. Of course, he is much stronger than this, and we can go over like hypotheticals later on, but he is much stronger than everyone we've talked about so far. As for the Scarlet Witch, she was able to severely overpower Thanos, and according to Kevin Feige, Scarlet Witch could have killed Thanos in that moment, and Thanos, without like any Infinity Stones, was able to beat up awakened Thor, who, when like pre-awakening, was stated capable of creating craters 100 times larger than the Grand Canyon. In order to do that, you need to have power equal to around 287 petatons of TNT, or enough to destroy multiple continents. And of course, Thor is far stronger than this when he fought Thanos. So realistically, the strongest like character out of all of them would be Psykos when she's like infused, but if you don't want to count her, then it would be in this order with Scarlet Witch, Shinobu, I'm really struggling with the name pronunciations, Keiji Mogami, and then Psykos. When it comes to speed, and Psykos is able to pin down Garo, who managed to dodge and counter one of Darkshine's attacks, who was able to save Lane before Atomic Samurai could reach him, and Atomic Samurai was capable of like performing dozens of slashes within a fraction of a second, and in order to do so he must be moving around 2.7 million miles per hour. Infused Psykos, meanwhile, of course, scales above Orochi, as we previously said, and Orochi was stated to massively upscale from Genionship, who was stated to have attacks that approached the speed of light, and a casual Saitama was able to dodge them at multiple times the speed of light. Of course, it's debatable if they even scale to casual Saitama, but Infused Psykos should bare minimum be relativistic, at least. As for Keiji Mogami's speed, and he was able to go toe-to-toe with 100% Mob, and was even able to overpower him at one point. Mob, who could catch lightning, which moves at 270,000 miles per hour, and when like in the thunderclouds themselves, was also even able to dodge the lightning inside of there, meaning he would have moved much faster. Given how fast electricity moves in general, Mob must have been moving at around 26 million miles per hour in order to dodge like lightning within the clouds themselves. As for Sensui speed, it's a bit complicated because there are not that many speed feats shown within Yu, like towards when he's in the series. He's able to evenly fight with like low S-class Yusuke, who is capable of deflecting younger Togoro's like air bullets, who blitzed Kubara, who scales to Hiei, who blitzed Serizu 16 times in an instant. In order to do that, he must have been moving at 30,000 miles per hour. However, like Hiei and all that like get much faster since this, so this would be a massive low ball, but we just don't really have that like other like way of scaling how fast Sensui would be. As for the Scarlet Witch, she was of course capable of keeping up with Thanos without the Infinity Stones, who is capable of blocking or at least dodging attacks from Captain Marvel, who is stated to use photons like as attacks, photons which like move at the speed of light. This basically means that realistically infused Psykos and Scarlet Witch would be on par in terms of speed. However, since Wanda technically has a higher number to go by, then she would be like above infused Psykos. She's far above the other ones, as like the next one in the speed category here would be like Keiji Mogami, and if you like translate miles per hour to light speed, Keiji Mogami would only be able to move at 0.04 times the speed of light, basically meaning that the Scarlet Witch and infused Psykos would be tens through hundreds of times faster than Mogami, and of course Psykos and Shinobu are both slower than this. When it comes to durability, and Psykos should realistically like scale to her attack potency due to being able to like take attacks from the people who previously were able to perform the feats that she scales to. And of course, it's the same for her, you know, infused state as well, being able to take attacks from Tatsumaki. As for Keiji Mogami's durability, he should also scale to his attack potency due to being able to take like a large explosions from 100% mob. And realistically, you could possibly scale him even higher due to the fact that he survived an encounter with unknown percent mob, but not only did obviously that weaken him a lot, and you know he was barely able to fight on afterwards, but we don't know how much more powerful unknown percent form mob is. When it comes to like Shinobu Sensui's like durability, he was able to take hits from Yusuke, who he was previously on par with, which basically means that his attack potency should also scale to his durability. When it comes to Wanda's durability, however, it is a bit more interesting. With her like energy shields, she's able to like block attacks from Thanos, so her energy shields should scale to his attack potency. However, her physical durability is actually fairly weak. She's often like displayed as being street tier. However, in the Multiverse of Madness, she was capable of tanking a few punches from America Chavez, who is capable of splitting a small amount of clouds with her punches, like nowhere near the scale of like Mob or Goretsu like earlier on. So in order to split the clouds that she did, you need power equal to almost 400 tons of TNT, or enough to destroy multiple city blocks. Therefore meaning that while yes, Wanda took those punches, her physical durability is by far the weakest out of all the characters here, with Shinobu being like the tankiest, and then, you know, obviously you've got, or rather infused Psykos being, if you count her, then Shinobu, then Keiji, then Psykos, then the Scarlet Witch. Right, so the longest part of the video here, the abilities, weaponry, and techniques of all the characters, so I'll just fly through them. Psykos in base has telekinesis, telepathy, social influencing, like mind manipulation, like wind manipulation, barrier creation, can manipulate gravity, has body puppetry, has electricity manipulation, flight, and precognition. And when infused, she gains like a larger size, has better regeneration, and has absorption, being able to absorb living things through her. She has breath attacks and energy manipulation. She has statistics amplification and extrasensory perception, and also likely possesses all of Orochi's abilities, such as being a master martial artist, having biological manipulation and energy absorption, having electricity manipulation, energy projection, fire manipulation, heat manipulation, having body control, power bestowal via the monster cells, elasticity, shape-shifting, and technique mimicry, also having like limited immortality and longevity, and also has resistance to heat. When it comes to Mogami's abilities, he of course has telekinesis and telepathy, along with physical energy manipulation. He has life force absorption, he has aura and force field creation, and being able to levitate. He can create explosions, has paralysis inducement, extrasensory perception, and non-physical interaction, due to Psychics and Mob Psycho being able to damage and kill, evil spirits. As an evil spirit, he has insane regeneration and regeneration negation. He has curse manipulation, he has resistance to possession, mind manipulation, and curse manipulation. He has self-sustenance, he has invisibility, as or people who aren't psychics in Mob Psycho can't see evil spirits. He has possession and corporeality, he has mind manipulation, and he can create almost pocket dimensions within someone's mind. And when he does this, he has limited power nullification, memory manipulation, creation, plant manipulation, limited soul manipulation. He has resistance to soul manipulation himself, and exorcism too. He has flight as well, and he can also fuse with other evil spirits, can make himself an even larger size, essentially giving him size manipulation and energy manipulation and energy projection, along with shape-shifting. As for Shinobu Sensui, he's acrobatic, he has flight and ki manipulation, ring ki manipulation, sacred energy manipulation, and air manipulation. He can create earthquakes, he has multiple cells as consciousness and souls in the same body, and each have their own different strength and abilities. He has body control. He's a master of the Rishuken martial arts style. He has creation, enhanced senses, and extrasensory perception. As for Wanda, she has quite a lot. She has energy manipulation and magic. She has chaos manipulation due to Agatha Harkness revealing that her powers are chaos magic. She has waves and shields. She has telekinesis and flight along with levitation. She has telepathy, mind manipulation, and fear manipulation. She has probability manipulation, as she stopped a bomb with probability hex as a child. She has a limited degree of hand-to-hand combat skills, as she was trained by Captain America and Black Widow. She has enhanced senses. She has resistance to mind manipulation and purification. She has pocket reality manipulation, and within this pocket reality, she has far stronger mind manipulation, memory manipulation, empathic manipulation as a side effect of the mind manipulation, dream manipulation, possible pain manipulation, as the Westview residents could share Wanda's pain. However, it's unknown if this is just poetic or not. She has clairvoyance, biological manipulation, and matter manipulation within this too. She has limited power bestowal, illusion creation, and limited power nullification, again, within Westview or whatever she creates. She has weather manipulation and absorption, as she absorbed her magic from Agatha Harkness. She has teleportation for herself and others. She has astral projection, when reading the Dark Code. She has reality warping and plot manipulation, along with time manipulation, again, through Westview shenanigans and things like that. She has transmutation, she has creation, air manipulation, and light manipulation through being able to change the colours of her pocket reality. She has life manipulation, again, pocket reality stuff, technology manipulation, and metal manipulation, as she recreated vision. She has further resistance to mind manipulation, as she managed to snap out of Agatha's mind. And in the Multiverse of Madness, she's shown having biological manipulation, as she was able to remove Black Bolt's mouth. She has technology manipulation, portal creation. She also has summoning, existence erasure, due to erasing every dark code from the infinite multiverse. You could imply that this makes Wanda multiversal, but I doubt it. It's more just that's her range of how much she can destroy. She has deconstruction, she has healing, resistance to soul manipulation due to withstanding the souls of the damned attempting to take her soul, and possession as well. And with the Dark Code, she has astral projection and possession via dreamwalking. So in terms of who's the most versatile, I think it's clear that Wanda is. When it comes to as the best abilities, again, I think manga as Wanda due to the sheer broken nature of what she can do in her pocket realities. And for like who's best in like hand-to-hand combat is definitely Shinobu, with followed closely by infused Psykos, simply because Shinobu like knows more martial arts than infused Psykos. Then it would be like Wanda having her limited like hand-to-hand combat experience, and then I'd place Mogami above Psykos, since Mogami, like even before it became an evil spirit, was capable of just killing people, so you'd assume that, you know, he would at least be like have some level of hand-to-hand combat there. As for weaknesses, Psykos is prone to rage and fits of insanity, and her telekinetic attacks can be diverted if her opponent knows how to do so. Mogami, however, does not have any notable weaknesses, or at least any known ones. As for Shinobu Sensui, like he suffers from a terminal illness and has a limited time left to live, otherwise he doesn't really have anything notable. As for Wanda's weaknesses, of course, as we already went over, her like physical like durability is not high really whatsoever. She also doesn't really have that much experience in fighting, although of course that is kind of remedied across the films, and she can't really defend herself from threats that she isn't aware of, although I guess you can kind of chalk that up to anyone. Given like who has the worst weakness, realistically it is Shinobu, since his is the only weakness where he is guaranteed to die from, but it's not really going to affect any of the fights whatsoever. So realistically it's either between Wanda or Psykos for whose weakness is going to affect the fight more. So overall, who wins? If we go with infused Psykos is the most powerful and the most durable. Wanda is the most powerful if you go with, you know, not infused Psykos. Infused Psykos and Wanda would also both be kind of tied for speed, if not more in Wanda's favour. Keiji Mogami would also be less, like, the least vulnerable out of everyone there. And also the abilities and versatility go to Wanda, as we said. So how does this go down? It's actually pretty interesting. I mean, aside from the fact that Psykos and base gets kind of clapped, she is much faster than Shinobu, so Shinobu would just kind of, you know, get punished by Psykos constantly until eventually he lands one hit on her. Something that I think is very interesting, right, is Wanda versus Keiji Mogami, right? Because obviously Wanda's faster, Wanda's much more powerful, Wanda could easily one-shot Mogami, but if you go with the fact that Wanda might not even be able to see Mogami, and Mogami is more than capable of one-shotting the Scarlet Witch, then you could very easily make the argument that Mogami just one-shots the Scarlet Witch before she can even understand what's happening, especially consider that one of her weaknesses is being unable to deal with things she doesn't really have much knowledge on. Although that said, that's pretty much the only win condition that any of these three have against the Scarlet Witch. There's also the fact that psychics can see evil spirits, and while it's a bit headcanon-y to say that the Scarlet Witch and Psykos are psychics, it's pretty concretely like they are. Realistically, if Mogami, Psykos, and Shinobu all teamed up in the Scarlet Witch, they probably would win through Mogami being invisible and getting a hit off the Scarlet Witch, but realistically, the Scarlet Witch just kind of washes everybody. Especially if she just places them all in a Westview situation. Not even Mogami's mind hacks could work in the Scarlet Witch, and the Scarlet Witch could basically just do whatever Mogami was doing onto the Scarlet Witch back onto him. If, obviously they get caught in a Westview situation, the Scarlet Witch is basically a god in that sense, and would just destroy all three of them. However, infused Psykos versus the Scarlet Witch is quite interesting, because infused Psykos obviously resists some of the mind hacks that the Scarlet Witch can do, and is more powerful, more durable, and almost as fast as the Scarlet Witch when infused. So you could very easily make the argument that Psykos just gets one good hit off the Scarlet Witch and she wins that way. And yeah, you probably could make the argument, especially when you consider that, Psykos in this state has insane, hand-to-hand combat and regeneration skills. It's more to do though, how would infused Psykos deal with, being trapped in a pocket dimension with the Scarlet Witch? Because the Scarlet Witch in the pocket dimension is pretty much God, as we said. And also as in, the probability manipulation, how would that affect the fight? Things like that. But overall, I would say the Scarlet Witch from the MCU slaps all of them, unless you use infused Psykos, where I'm kind of leaning more towards her winning. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.